Yeah. Hey guys. First and foremost, I just want to thank you. I've had a family emergency. Um, that's why I had to postpone and still dealing with it now. So it's been a tough time, but I knew that I needed to get in front of you guys and wrap up. I know certainly our season. So I appreciate the patience. As you know, continue to navigate this situation and look forward to answering questions and reviewing our season. So thank you.
Thanks, Steph. We'll go to Howard first. Howard, go ahead.
Steph, first of all, wishing you and your family all the best.
Thank you.
Uh, uh, Wondering if we could talk about sort of where you see your tenure here in Connecticut. There's obviously been a significant amount of reporting. There's no shortage of openings as well, and obviously you would be an attractive candidate. I'm just wondering if those conversations have been taking place. It seems like obviously there are other things going on right now.
Yeah, I mean my priority is my family right now. Honestly, just being here for my family, getting through this, that's my priority.
Totally understood. Thank you.
We'll go to Maggie next. Maggie, go ahead.
Hey Steph, just again wishing you just positive prayers right now and positive feelings. I know obviously you guys didn't end up getting the ultimate championship, the ultimate goal of the season, but just what are you most proud of your team after this year of, mid-season acquisitions and just what are you most proud of your team?
I think the resilience of this group, being able to go through the highs and lows of the season. Not just the midseason acquisitions, but it was pretty traumatizing. Watching Tiff struggle and go through, her health scare and situation. There were a lot of ups and downs, but the resilience of this group to position ourselves to be right there, at the end of the year, to be in contention for what our ultimate goal was to get to the finals. So I'm proud of the resilience. I'm proud of the way this team came together. I'm proud of, how open, receptive, inclusive, and how quickly we were able to come together after the midseason trade and position ourselves. Certainly disappointed that we didn't get over the hump and didn't make it to the finals, but proud of the resilience.
Emily, go ahead.
Yeah, just echoing everybody else, thinking of you here. Obviously all of your big three are free agents. Stevie told us that she was planning on coming back to the league next year during her exit interview. Just how much of a priority is it at this point to try to keep that core together going into next year?
I certainly think it's something that you want, but we also understand the realities of this business. This is a core group that's been together for a long time. And thankfully for those three specifically, they have stayed together and they have, wanted to continue to build on their legacy, with the Connecticut Sun. And I think making sure that we all understand that we would like that to happen. I think, but the reality of the situation is you never know. Every year a team is going to be different. Every year, opportunities arise, through free agency and other things that happen. So, we're thankful for the time that we've had, and we'll take the next steps whenever they present themselves.
We'll go to Jordan next. Jordan, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, just want to say prayers to you and your family and stuff. And then, so I wanted to ask about Veronica Burton. Obviously, you guys acquired her a little early in the season. So I guess just talk about what did you like from her from both ends of the floor this season?
Yeah, I thought V was terrific for us. She's a player who came in again, early in the season, didn't get a lot of practice time early. I love her IQ. I love how hard she works. I love how coachable she is. We knew that she was going to give us what we needed on the defensive end of the floor, and she did that. Her ability to knock down open shots and really run the team, from that backup point guard role. She was a different type of point guard than Ty. And it was a great compliment to have both of them on the floor.
Thank you.
Anthony, go ahead.
Thank you. Coach, this business is really about teaching and helping players grow, and it's about relationships more than anything else. Knowing that the roster construction is going to start beginning or has begun, once the team, ended their season, How do you deal with the emotional side of the relationships that you may no longer have because those players may move on for whatever reason?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you talk to many of my former players, no matter where they are in the world, honestly, maintaining relationships and keeping in touch is important. We all understand that this is a business. We all understand that everybody's decision-making process, is based on certain personal factors, right? So I think it's just like any relationship you have that you've met through work. It's like you want each other to be successful. You want each other to be happy. You're going to pull for them, except if they're on the other team, right? And if they're your opponent. But at the end of the day, the relationship aspect of it doesn't change. And I think that's just a humanistic part of a cutthroat business that we're in.
Thank you.
Annie, go ahead.
Hey, Stephanie, just wanted to echo what everyone else has said and that our prayers are with you and your family. Obviously, when it comes to exit interviews, the priority is on, having these conversations with players, talking about what went right and what maybe didn't go so right. So I'm curious, just from your perspective, how you have gone about evaluating yourself that way, and kind of what are your takeaways for yourself as a coach over these last 2 seasons?
Yeah, I think, you always evaluate that. I mean, even post game, when you're going through your post game wrap ups, whether it's evaluations of decision making in the time, offensive, defensive adjustments, execution, certainly substitution patterns and putting people in positions to be successful. So, I haven't really had the time because I'm so focused on my family right now to sort of decompress from that. But it's something that happens every year. It's something that happens after every game. So, certainly, looking back on just even final, second half of the season into the playoffs, situationally, I feel like we could have done a better job as a staff of putting our team in situations offensively to make life easier. I specifically felt like that with Breezy in certain situations in a series. I always am hypercritical of substitution patterns and making sure that you have enough gas left in the tank in the fourth quarter to be able to finish ball games. But that's just what's top of mind right now. When I get a chance, to get through this and really dive in, it'll be a little bit more on a deeper level.
And then just one more follow-up. Apologies if this was already asked. I jumped on a second late, but what have your conversations with the Sun regarding your future looked like at this point?
Yeah, I'm not having conversations right now about anything outside of my family. I'm solely focused on my family and getting through this tough time.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Steph.
Alexa, go ahead.
Hi, Steph. Sending my best to you and your family through this time. I understand maybe this is not something you've even thought about given everything happening, but I don't know if maybe the organization has begun to have conversations about expansion draft and what the next steps of preparing for that might look like. If there's anything that comes to mind, or even how you think the next steps would be over the next month or so before that becomes a factor.
I think that's something that we have to dive into, certainly with Darius and Morgan and Jen. There were very preliminary conversations, towards the end of the season, but that's something to dive into, quickly. And every team is going to be dealing with that. But, certainly, and I am part of those conversations, but defer to Darius and Morgan.
We'll go to Megan.
Hey, Stephanie, just sending you love and light. Thank you so much for getting this out and being a trooper and answering questions with us today. I can imagine that's pretty tough. Wanted to ask you, we talked to Dejanay Carrington not that long ago, and I asked her how she planned to celebrate herself for the fantastic season that she had. And she said she didn't know. She was probably going to go shopping. But I wanted to ask you, how would you celebrate her, or what would you say to her about her season?
Yeah, I mean, I think Nay deserves an opportunity to really celebrate and her growth, her improvement, her consistency, her ability to put everybody on notice, I think, right, of what she's capable of. But I also feel like that it's a little bit like when you win, right? You're gonna celebrate, you're gonna enjoy it, and then it's like, what's next, right? What's the next step? How do I take it to another level? I'm hopeful for Dejanay to have a healthy off season where she can really dive in. I mean, she certainly did all the work she could within her limitations from an injury standpoint, over the last few seasons. But to have an off season where you're healthy enough to really continue to grow, continue to develop, to take your game to the next level, I think is going to be amazing for her. So certainly want her to celebrate, want her to continue to enjoy this, and then focus on what's next in terms of her development and taking her game to another level.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
We'll finish with Maggie. Go ahead, Maggie.
Kind of on that same note, I mean, there was no arguing that Nay was most improved, but Olivia also looked really good this season, especially after last season playing so many minutes without Breezy. What did you like most about her contributions this year, and what do you hope for her next year that you guys picked up her option?
Yeah, the thing I like the most about Liv is that she was confident all year long. I think there's a different way that you carry yourself when you're playing with confidence. She had a great off season last year, came back, gave us a different look than what Breezy gives. Certainly her minutes weren't the same as they were when Breezy wasn't on the floor. But I think the ability to play on the floor with different lineups, to show that she's continuing to expand her range and expand her game, to continue to play with confidence. Liv's upside is really, really big. I think she's got a tremendous upside. I think she's just scratching the surface. It's more about continuing development and opportunity.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks, everyone. And thank you, Stephanie. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good day, everyone.